Hello everyone and welcome to Symphony of Colors. In the last video I had shown you how I poured the acrylic paints, leftover acrylic paints on this freezer sheet, and today I will remove it since this has dried nicely, and slowly and slowly I will remove it from freezer paper because I had poured less amount in this specific pour. There are some wrapping and some gaps, but still we can use it properly for making jewelry. And the patterns are different on both the side. From one side you can see lots of cells, and on the other side different type of paint patterns, but this still can be used nicely for making pendants. Using the leftover paints, I had poured some more sheets, and let me show those to you. This way I used leftover paint which otherwise would have not been utilized properly for making paintings, but you can see wonderful colors, different patterns. But since we will use a very small part for making pendant, this can be used nicely. One more actually pour that I had done for making pendant. So we'll be using epoxy resin, and I had ordered this epoxy resin from Amazon. It has hardener and resin, and it came with silicone cups, and I had ordered the silicone molds as well for making pendants. So I will utilize these gadgets and make pendants today. Let me remove this. To save time, I had cut these acrylic sheets based on the shapes in these pendant mold, and I'll be using these sheets. So first and foremost, let us mix resin for the pour today. And I have seen in other videos that you have to be very careful and wear two pair of gloves, and I'm doing the same, wearing two pair of gloves so that if one pair gets sticky above, we can remove it easily and then still continue working with the resin. So I will add resin first, and we have to be very careful to take the same amount of resin and the same amount of hardener. So I'll be using taking 40 ml of resin, and I will add 40 ml of hardener into the resin. And I will mix it very carefully. I've seen that people spend 3 to 5 minutes mixing the resin, and I'll be doing the same today. Taking care of scraping it from the side, from stick, and mixing and remixing the resin. This process will create certain air bubbles, but if you find lots of air bubble, what you can do, you can heat slightly using heat gun, and then use it for making more pendant. So now my resin has been mixed. What I will do, I'll add little amount of resin in the mold first, so that there is a proper covering of the acrylic sheet from both the side. And I'm taking care of spreading the resin in the entire mold. After spreading the resin carefully at the base of mold, I'll place the sheet in this mold slowly and slowly, carefully, starting from one side and then adding it in the resin so that there is no air bubble left at the base of the sheet. Although I'm showing you this in the on a fast speed, but I was doing this process very slowly. And after adding the sheet carefully on the resin at the bottom, I'll now topping it up with the rest of the resin, making sure that there is no overflow of resin. Otherwise, it will create the less amount will create will not look proper, and the more resin will create sharp edges at the end of pendant. So using the same process, I will add acrylic sheet in rest of the molds. Now, it is not important that we cut the entire sheet of the same size. We can use number of sheets. We can cut and use different colors, different sizes, because in it nothing is perfect in the art world, and everything can create different pattern and different beauty. As you can see, I have also added resin mixed with the iridescent gold, and it will create some different pattern. This is a quite rectangular pendant, and I'm using gold as well as copper sheet into this and topping it with the resin, transparent resin. For this last rectangle mold, I'm using only iridescent gold mixed resin and transparent resin to create different flow and patterns. Definitely, this gold mixed resin should be at the end to demarcate the boundaries so that it looks beautiful when we put it in the chain and wear it. Now, using the heat gun, I'll heat the resin, uh, taking care of keeping the heat gun away from the resin. Very close, the resin will come out of the mold, and this process will help in removing the air bubbles from the resin. If required, you can repeat it one, two, or three times. It will help in removing all the air bubbles. So now I'm adding resin in the second mold, and this time before adding the acrylic sheet in these molds, I'll heat the resin so that there is no air bubble left at the bottom resin as well. And the process will be same as I had shown you in the first mold. I had bought gold glitter from dollar store, and I'm using adding it in the only gold based pendants. And just making sure that that gets dipped in the resin. Let me show you how this resin and the sheet dipped in resin is looking from the close. It's looking very bright and nice. Now what I will do, I will cover these molds with one canvas so that these get covered, and I will leave these resin molds for 24 hours so that it gets cured nicely. And I will show you the dried pendant after that. So it's already 24 hours. I had covered with this canvas because there was space at the bottom of the canvas. And now I will remove these pendants from the molds, and I will show it to you how they are looking. Starting from this one pendant where there was only a gold sheet, and you can see how bright this is looking. This was another one with teal and gold. It a tear-shaped pendant. Again, it's looking nice, small and nice. You can see bronze and purple coming nicely into this. This was only gold and some glitter from dollar store, and this pendant is also looking very nice. In this pendant, I have used tone, not the perfect sheet. So sheets has some space, but despite that, it's looking really pretty. A different and unique pendant. Copper, pink, teal, and gold colors coming through. These are larger pendants. And again, looking nice and bright from both the sides. The copper is coming very nicely, showing very nicely in this pendant. And since the sheet has different pattern on both the side, these pendants can be worn from both the sides, looking very nice, and a depth is coming through. I had used this iridescent gold in making the sheet, and this sheet is really looking nice and bright. This pendant had lots of copper in it from one side and orangish on the other side, and you can see one air bubble left in this, but again it's looking beautiful. This is a thin rectangular pendant, and this is with only iridescent gold mixed in resin and transparent resin. I hope you liked my video. Give me a thumbs up if you did, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.